Hello all and welcome, and I am the MGTOW philosopher, and in this video I would like to talk about a post made by a pussy, a wimp, mangina, white knight, cuck boy, who essentially let himself be used and abused by his wife. And he took it for far too long, and he continues to take it by paying her bills. Lovely, eh? And I wanted to post this article, this post, really, not an article, this post, simply because I wanted to give a perfect example of how men, and this guy's a perfect example of how most of you blue-pilled white knight wimps are. Men have this biological urge, this biological need, this biological imperative to care for, take care of, provide security and protection for women. We have to learn it, recognize it's there, and we have to learn how to fight it, how to ignore it, let it have no power over us. Because when you act on it like this guy does, you're essentially cucking yourself. You're essentially hamstringing yourself. You are making yourself into a loser. We moved to a new city. I work full-time from home as an SWE. She's a stay-at-home mom. She met new people on IG, which I guess is Instagram in our new city. Made friends. I thought it was great. But my wife has a deep hole inside her from years of child abuse. Right there, that's a red flag. Guys, the other reason I wanted to post this is to let you know that anytime you meet a woman that's been abused as a child, run away, okay? It's not the same with men. We learn to deal with our problems. We work through them. Women, they just internalize shit. They don't deal with anything. They grow up to be a mess. They stay a mess. They ruin their lives. They ruin your life as well. Of course, a feminist would say, oh, you evil bastard, you're blaming her for something that was done to her. Victim shaming, victim shaming. No, I'm not blaming her. I'm just recognizing that she's a messed up cunt, and I want nothing to do with her because she's going to mess up my life as well. She has no career. It's early 20s. Another thing you don't do, never get, first of all, don't get married at all. That's a big mistake. But if you insist on doing something stupid because you must have children and you can't afford to do it by yourself, and you must, absolutely must, and you refuse to listen to me and get married, don't do it in your early 20s. Are you a fucking idiot? The younger you are, the more likely you will get divorced. And I think for divorces before 25, the number goes up. Now, of course, we all know that first marriages, 93.4% of them, 93.4% will end within the first 10 years. They will end. This has been proven statistically. The average length of a marriage in America is 8.7 years. 8.7 years. That means that when you're married before 25, well, it's pretty much guaranteed. 100%. 100% that early 20s people getting married are going to get divorced. More like 99%. Might as well be close to 100%. You're going to get divorced if you're stupid enough to get married in your early 20s. Of course not, because you don't know who you are. And as he even says, she has no career. She has yet to figure herself out. If you get married before the age of 25, you might as well just say 100% of these idiots will get divorced. As the months went by, she filled that hole more and more with her connections on Instagram and less with our family relationship. Her follower count grew from a few hundred to 10,000. Here she's probably posting half-naked pictures of herself because she was abused as a child, and she associates sex and sexual activity with closeness and intimacy and getting people to like you. Oh, my daddy, he did this to me. Now I want a daddy figure, and I want men to like me, and so I'm going to post pictures of myself. I associate being naked and sex with getting men's approval. Yeah. She started spending more and more time taking videos of her followers, for her followers. It got to the point where I come home from work, ask her how her day was, she'd say fine, and then about an hour later, that night, there'd be a multiple paragraph long post of hers about her day. Yeah, she wouldn't be talking to you. Doesn't marriage sound wonderful? Doesn't it sound like a walk in the park? A dream! It's a dream! You found that person you love, that one and only love that's going to last forever. It's just such a wonderful dream filled with beautiful flowers and unicorns running around everywhere, and it's always daytime, and it's always sunny and smells like honeysuckle. Yeah, my ass. This is what marriage looks like. You come home, she ignores you, goes online, tells all her stupid Instagram followers about her day, but doesn't speak to you at all about her day. She put more and more effort into her relationship with Instagram than she did with us, of course, because she's unable to form any truly deep, intimate connections with people. It only causes her pain. That's why she can only handle superficial connections where she's 100% in control. It makes sense. I mean, shit, every single post she would get, hundreds of comments saying all sorts of nice things. I tried to keep up, but IG filled that hole in her heart much faster than I could. She's damaged goods, buddy. You never should have married her. Keep in mind, we weren't just some random marriage. We were best friends for a year before we even started dating. Another big mistake. Big fucking mistake. you're some best friends with a woman, already there's a problem. Women do not, I mean, generally speaking, women don't become friends with guys and then bang them later. They don't sexualize you, okay? If you're in the friend zone and then she starts having sex with you, she's only doing so because she said to herself, well, he's a good guy making a lot of money, and I could do worse, and he can provide. Basically, she's not into you sexually. She's not into you as a relationship partner. You are just Poindexter. You are the Poindexter who is stable and secure and can pay the bills, makes her feel safe, yada, 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 but she's not into you. She decided she is pansexual and polyamorous. Another problem with marrying broads that are 22, 23 years old, they haven't had very much sex. Very little sexual experience, so they want to experiment. They want to ride the cock carousel. Of course, especially as these days modern women do. They have to get in that 5, 10, 15 years of cock carousel time, of course. So you marry a chick that young who has no experience, expect her to cheat on you. Yeah, she's pansexual and polyamorous and no longer wanted to be tied down, but she's married and has a kid. She refused to leave me because I pay all the bills. And by the way, Paul, that's why she married you to begin with, you idiot. So I suffered for a few months. This is what makes this guy a fool. Well, he was a fool before because he married some broad who had been abused as a child, number one. 2, he married a broad that had been his friend. So you were in the friend zone, buddy. So she wasn't even attracted to you very much physically, and she just married you for your money, and you didn't see that. 3, you're finally realizing that she's with you just because you pay the bills, and you stayed once you realized that for months while you knew she was stepping out on you with other guys. Don't be this guy, gentlemen. Of course, don't get married. This is a perfect example of what actual marriage is like these days with these millennials getting married. They have no sense of commitment. They have no idea what a real relationship should be. They're 100% totally immature children. They cannot be involved in a marriage. No possible way these people can make a marriage work. Do not marry a modern woman at all. This is what you'll get. So I suffered for a few months while she brought home different people. This guy is a fool. You're an idiot. You are an idiot. You get what you deserve. Eventually, I got my own apartment and walked out. But this is where he's already become a fool 3 times. Now he becomes a fool for the 4th time. Even though I technically walked out at the end, she left me mentally long ago. She now spends her free time with IG clicks, banging other guys instead of getting a job or going to school or anything worthwhile, really. Just more photo shoots, more posting, more spending, photo shoots that pay no money. And, of course, let's get to the part where he's 4 times a fool. She doesn't have any remorse or regret. Of course not. She's a sociopath. She's a sociopath, pal. She has no conscience, okay? She used you, you idiot. She used you. All her years of abuse turned her into an unfeeling monster, you idiot. She thinks she's on the path to her greatness. Blah, blah, blah. Monogamy is ownership. You fool. She's trying to justify cucking you. All these things she just keeps repeating from memes she reads from woke accounts. Yeah, she's trying to justify her actions. Get out. Fake facts and stats from sources. They're just anonymous accounts posting bullshit. Millennials, my generation, browse this shit, read it, and believe it without any doubt in their heads. Meanwhile, I'm paying about he's paying $4K a month in rent for her rent, for her car bills, her food, money just to have mad money. Yeah, you're just giving her $4,000 a month. So there's why she married him. Successful guy. But she jumped the gun. She didn't get all of that fucking and cucking out of her system. You see, what she should have done was waited another 5, 10 years and then found a Poindexter like this guy who does very well. You jumped the gun, honey. Then you would have had all that fucking, all that horniness, all that randiness out of your system, and you could have at least stayed, at least appearance-wise, loyal to him. But you're so randy, so horny, you couldn't even hide it. In fact, you're such a dummy, you told yourself it's perfectly okay with all this feminist nonsense claptrap about monogamy is ownership, and I'm not going to hide nothing. I should be able to be polyamorous, and my husband should have no problem with it. Yeah, you're living in fantasy land, honey, but obviously it's a fantasy land that pays very well. $4K a month, it seems. Oh, and did I mention the main girls she hangs out with from IG? 4 of them are all going through divorces in the past 2 months. Of course they are. They're dumb young millennials like her who thought they could do the same thing and their husbands wouldn't tolerate it. They eventually got around to divorcing these cunts. You stupidly stayed for months. And they don't seem any seeing a connection between them. Either they're lying to my face and have some sort of secret pact going on to be single, and that's some seriously strong group think there. Of course, they're millennial, socialist, leftist idiots. Social media echo chambers are real. Yes, they are. Edit. I left out this private details because I originally deemed it unnecessary to share, but I think it might explain why I'm being so nice. She thinks she's lesbian or bi. She's confused, pal. Obvious. She's been bringing home women. Been bringing home women? Are you still living there? You got out, right? All right. She has a girlfriend now. Where's the kid? She's a stay-at-home mom. Where's the kid? You say she's a stay-at-home mom. Do you mean she's a stay-at-home wife? Because I haven't heard any mention of this kid yet. Where's the kid? Oh, neither one of you cares enough about the kid to mention the kid. You're both immature. Neither one of you should be in a fucking relationship. This is absurd. You shouldn't have a boyfriend. You shouldn't have a girlfriend. You shouldn't be married before the age of 25. You shouldn't have any type of serious relationship. You should be banging and clanging, pumping and dumping, at least until 25 years of age. Perhaps even later, even 28, 29. Get that shit out of your system. She has a girlfriend now. If it was guys, then yeah, I think it would be easier to just be pissed off. But the fact is women, rational enough, for some reason makes it more confusing for me to deal with. No, you should be pissed off either way. Sorry for leaving this out. I'd be more pissed off if it was women. Thank you for all the feedback and advice. It's all extremely helpful. And essentially, it's just the replies are simply people telling him exactly what I'm telling him, except in a nicer way. You're a pussy. You're an idiot. Any guy who stays with a woman who cheats on him is a fucking moron, okay? If I was married, which I wouldn't be stupid enough to do, but if I came home and my chick was in bed with some other broad, I would pick her ass up. First, I would kick his ass out of my fucking house. Then I would pick her ass up, toss her outside, toss her fucking clothes outside, all her fucking belongings and tell her to get the fuck out. Then I'd lock that fucking door, and I wouldn't let her ass in. If she tried to get in, you ain't getting in, bitch. You got to change your clothes out there. Get the fuck out of here. I might toss her keys out to her, toss them on the fucking grass. Bye-bye. Yeah, let her call the fucking cops. Let's see if she has the balls, the shame, to call the fucking cops and try to get back into her house after she did something like that. No, go stay with your mommy, bitch. This kind of shit pisses me off. Men that have this kind of intelligence, this kind of earning potential, this guy could do a hell of a lot better than some fucked up bitch who's abused his damaged goods, who married him simply because she saw a guy who could bring home the bacon and had no iota of caring for him. She wasn't even attracted to him. Now, of course, most women look for a guy who is stable and secure and can provide. But they're at least in some sense, sometimes, you would hope, you would expect they're attracted to the guy. Well, but women like this have zero conscience, zero emotions, except for the kind that are self-serving. Okay? I acknowledge that most women are fucking gold diggers to begin with, but they're not as bad as this bitch, generally speaking, where there's no fucking conscience at all. This bitch is the worst of the worst. Yeah, all women are fucking like that, but there's differing degrees of women that are like that. There's ones that are not as bad as this bitch. This bitch is the absolute worst. I mean, I don't marry any women. There are no fucking Nawalts, guys. Okay? They're all like this to one degree or another. Although not all of them are going to be this fucking bad. But this bitch is a perfect example of what you're going to get. Okay? But she's the extreme case. I don't know. I'm rambling at this point. I'm losing my train of thought. They're all like this, okay, guys? They're all like this, but not to this degree, because this bitch is damaged goods. Damaged goods. At least most chicks at least have the decency to hide their fucking affairs and not be so open about it, and not open about the fact that they have a plan B, some guy on the side. They're not as bad as this. This chick is the worst. Let me know what you think about this woman and her fucking pathetic loser, Poindexter, who has no balls. I mean, at least he has some balls. He left eventually, but he's a pussy that he stayed there for months and months until he couldn't take it anymore. One happening, and I would be gone. I'd be out of that motherfucker. This is what you get, guys, with modern-day millennial women, minus the being abused as a child. They're all like this secretly deep down to a certain extent. Though, I don't think all of them are this fucking bad. This is really crazy. I mean, you're not going to... Good Lord. But they're all like this to a certain extent. Absolutely positively, the majority of women have a plan B. The majority of women have some guy on the side, or they have some guy waiting for them, or they have some guy that they're going to be with once they dump your ass, and they don't plan to be around very long, just as long as it takes to get the necessary amount of alimony from you. I am the MGTOW philosopher, and I wish you a good day. Take care.